What is happening, YouTube? How y'all doing today? My name is Joe, just your average Joe. We are hanging out in the garage. We're going to go over some sales. We're going to go over comments. We got some stuff to cover today. So appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If you have not hung out with me before, I've been reselling full-time on eBay for about 8 years, but I've been buying and selling on eBay since 2000, long time. Money order, Western Union days, pre-PayPal days. So you've been around that long, you know what I'm talking about. Wild West days, way back when. But appreciate you guys hanging with me. I'm starting a little late today. I already had to ask my mail lady to circle back, so this one might feel a little rushed. But I'm going to go over comments. I'm going to go over sales, and I'm going to get off here and get this stuff packed for her because she'll be back in about an hour. So I did not jump on yesterday because I had one sale yesterday for $26. So I did not jump on. In fact, it was, we'll go ahead and jump off with sales first. So sold Mario Kart DS for $26 free shipping. So that was the only sale yesterday. However, so that's why I didn't get on yesterday and do a video. But from yesterday to today, we did 7 items for $578.79. So between the last 2 days, we did right about $600, and that's not including shipping. And I don't believe that includes the fees when it gives me that number either. So yeah, $500-ish, not too bad. Hit my goal for the last 2 days at least. Had a bad day, had a really good day, so that works. Hopefully things stay consistent. My systems are finally starting to sell more. Systems are finally starting to sell more, getting an uptick there. It is fourth quarter, so if you sell video game systems, hopefully you're seeing an uptake. And if you, whatever it is that you sell, hopefully you're seeing an uptick, or we'll start to see an uptick here pretty soon as we start getting those fourth quarter shoppers and things like that getting on. But let's go over sales first, and then we will jump into comments. So first thing that sold, we had 7 items. PS4 with filler games, as I mentioned on the last video, a bunch of filler games. Sold for $145 plus shipping. The next thing that sold was 4 Atari games that are manual box and game. They're not in the greatest condition, but they're pretty good, decent condition. Sold for $55 plus shipping. The next one up was another PS4, sold for $145 plus shipping. So there's that. That one just has a controller and the cordage, no games with that one. $145 plus shipping on that. Let's see what else sold. We had Mortal Kombat Armageddon on PS2, sold for $13 free shipping. 13 free shipping on that one. We sold a Game Boy Intech case, sold for $17 plus shipping. Sold PS1 with some filler games as well. There's a PS1 with 2 controllers, all the cables, and then a bunch of loose, I think like 5 or 6 loose games. Filler games again, sold for $80 plus shipping. And then we sold the last thing, the 7th item, was a Super Nintendo box. It is a little janky. It is sun-worn, faded out. Has a little tear in it, torn a little bit. Sold for $23 plus shipping. So believe it or not, cardboard sells. Yes, it does. So $23 plus shipping. So those are the sales. I'm going to get those packed, I guess, while I am with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know, maybe angle this way a little bit and pack with you guys as well and answer questions. So that way I can get 2 things done at once. Because my mail lady, I don't want to miss her. I already asked her to circle back. So let's go to comments. First comment up was Mark. Mark says, how did you find the Italian Roots American shirt? The Italian Roots American Grown shirt. So the Italian Roots American Grown, my mom got that for me for Christmas. So that's where I got it from. I want to say Google, or either Google or Facebook. On like Facebook has those ads that come through. I want to say she got it from either Google or Facebook. I'm sure you can find it if you Google it. That exact verbiage, it'll probably pop up. But no, that's a great shirt. One of my favorites actually. It's just it doesn't fit the best because I've gained like 30 pounds over the summer, so it just doesn't quite fit the best anymore. So what am I doing? I don't need that. So there's that. Next one up is Great Thanks a Lot says, My pickups are so unreliable. I gave up. I gave up everything. I gave up trying. Some post offices are better than others. So what I'll say to that is honestly, you're not wrong. You're absolutely right. Some post offices are better than others. However, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if you're, I had when I early on when I first started doing pickups, they weren't doing a very good job of doing my pickups. So I had to call the post office and talk to the postmaster general. Me and Fred are cool now, but I had to talk to Fred and be like, "Yo, Fred, what's up, man? I'm scheduling these pickups and you guys aren't picking them up. What's the deal, man? You know what I mean?" So what I would say to that is you got to be the hold on a second. You got to be the squeaky wheel. You got to be the squeaky wheel, man. If they don't pick up a second time, call again and be like, hey, Fred. Like in my case, my guy's name's Fred. Whoever your person is, just let them know what's going on. Let me see. We got Amazon stopping off. Is that Amazon? Fluid truck. What is that? I'm assuming that's Amazon. I don't know. We'll find out in a second. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to go check out and see what these guys are delivering. This thing and just deliver it. Where'd my mic go? Where'd I put my mic? I put my mic somewhere. Oh, it's right here. Oh, he's coming back. She's coming back. He's coming back. Good, how you doing? All right, man. Take it easy. All right, good deal. All right, some stuff for my wife, of course. Amazon. If any of y'all married folks know, them women love to shop on Amazon. They love to shop on Amazon. All right, so I would say squeaky wheel gets the grease, man. Call them and let them know that they're not doing their pickups basically. I mean that's what I had to do because they weren't doing it for me either early on, and they were, but it was hit and miss. It was certainly hit and miss. It wasn't very consistent with doing pickups. So I would say make the call, try again, because if it's convenient for you to do that. Because I don't know, maybe you live 2 miles from the post office, you don't really care, and if that's the case, then that's fine. But I mean, if it's worth your gas, your time, your money to do it, then I would say do it. Try it again because it is worth it. It is worth it. I mean, for me at least, to do scheduled pickups, it's so convenient. So anyway, hopefully that works out for you. Great, thanks a lot. Once again, great, thanks a lot, Mark. Thank y'all for commenting. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Let me put my bike up here. You guys aren't hearing so much of the packing. Okay. Next comment up is I thought brakes. So this is Catorch. I think that's how you say that. Says, I thought brakes and tires were included under the mileage tax deduction. I thought it included gas and car maintenance. So all I know is my accountant has me give him I don't do mileage. I do my gas receipts. I just track my gas. I don't have receipts. I mean, it's on my card. But I track my gas and I track all my maintenance on my vehicle, and I give it to my tax guy at the end of the year to do it to work his magic. I will say, great thanks a lot says correct. If you take standard deduction, 0.67 per mile in 2024, you cannot itemize vehicle expenses on top of that. So I did pull up something prior to jumping on, which does say you're right if you do the standard, but I don't do the standard. I don't do mileage. So if you don't do mileage, here are typical expenses. This coming from H&R Block website. It just says here are typical expenses for tax deductions using the actual car expense method. Car repairs, car insurance. I didn't even know that. I should probably start giving in my car insurance notes. I'm not even deducting that. So I should start doing that. Depreciation, don't even do that either. So there's more money I could probably not have to pay taxes on. Gas, oil, garage rent, lease payments, registration fees and license. I don't even do the registration, lease and fees, tires and tolls and park. I don't even do the tolls. When I go down to Georgia, I don't even think about the tolls because it's only like $20. But I mean, heck, throughout the course of the year, it's another $100, $150 throughout the course of the year that it just adds to what they can't tax me on. So, so I would say, I mean, I don't know which method is better. I'm not. My accountant tells me to give him all the itemized. We don't do mileage. I don't. He has never told me to track my mileage. So do we do it the expense way? So everything, my brakes, my tires, my gas, the stuff that I have thought about. I should start doing the insurance. Didn't even think about that. Dude, my insurance is $300 some a month. Now, granted, my wife's car we don't use too much for business, but my truck is almost 100% business. I mean, obviously I use it for personal too, but it's my mic's over here. But it's heavy business. 75+% of it is business. 85 even probably is business. So yeah, I need to talk to my guy. We didn't even think about that. But anyway, so again, Mark isn't wrong if you do the standard. I don't do standard. I itemize it, and we expense out everything as far as when it comes to vehicle maintenance and stuff. So there's that. So let's go replied on newest video. Oh, that's not working. Replied on newest video. Let me copy it from here and also reply to Mark. Or great, thanks a lot, not Mark. Oh, sorry. Great, thanks a lot. Let me reply to you as well. So anyway, I would say I don't know which one's better. I don't do the math, but if my accountant told me to give him everything itemized, I would imagine going itemized is better because especially, you drop $600 for this and you drop $300 for that and you drop $1,000 for this. Is that, is 0.67 miles per mile equal all that extra money you're putting out for expenses and stuff? Like my car's not new. So, I mean, in fact, I got to take my truck in again, probably, like my truck's a 2008. It's a nice truck. Don't get me wrong. It's a Ford Sport Track Adrenaline. They're pretty rare, but I've had it since 2012. I don't plan on getting rid of it. It's in pretty darn good shape. It's got almost 200,000 miles, but I got to take her in at least once or twice a year to get something done to her. You know what I mean? So all that, and then tires. I mean, tires for my truck I did 2 tires earlier this year, and now I'm going to do 2 tires again. I just got them sitting in the garage. They were $600 a piece, or $600 a set, not including have to put them on and all that. So all that gets expensed out, but getting the alignment done, getting the maintenance or the labor to have them put on and all that stuff goes put under the business. So, I don't know. Hopefully it helps. Again, I'm not saying great thanks a lot is wrong, but if you do standard mileage, I don't think that's a better route to go. I don't know. Maybe it is, but it doesn't sound like it is. But anyway, I don't track the mileage. I track my gas. Like today was going out, did some stuff, business related, also personal related. I filled up for $50. $50 went toward my business expenses for filling my truck up because I'm going to go tomorrow and go do something. I was supposed to go to later today, do a pickup. I don't know if that guy, actually, you guys weren't on. I had to reset my video. A guy on Marketplace sounds like he's backing out on a deal. So, I'm supposed to go meet him and yard sailing. Well, that's where a lot of my gas goes on Saturday yard sale because I freaking drive everywhere for yard sales and stuff. So anyway, hopefully that helps. Catorch. I'm tearing that up. If you want to give me how to pronunciate that, that'd be great. Anyway, next one up is and thank you for commenting, by the way, and us touching on that subject. I like it. That's exactly why I do this, because we can touch on subjects that I wouldn't normally think about touching on. Next one up is oh man, another one I can't pronounce. Alz Biads. I'll just do LZ. LZ says, I am a men's, and by the way, LZ, thank you for commenting. Appreciate you hanging out. He says, I am a men's clothes reseller, and my category is dominated by flat rate shippers. Okay. So that is what I have been doing for 2.5 years. I try to explain to them that they have to understand their category and what is dominating shipping method within them. If you're trying to use calculated shipping in a category where free shipping is dominated, calculated shipping would put your items in a competitive disadvantage. Well, if you include, most people just include the shipping. So if it's $10 free shipping, then they would just do $4.99 plus $5 shipping. So I mean, as long as you're still staying competitive after shipping, again, I'm not saying you're right or wrong, but there's different strategies on doing that. Now, if you're doing that same item, you're doing $9.99 plus $5 shipping, and the next guy's got it up for $9.99 free shipping, then yeah, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage and probably not going to sell that stuff very well. But I see a lot of resellers Facebook groups where sellers are bitching about not getting sales, where their shipping is higher than the category average. Something that I implemented into my shipping strategy this past spring. I use shipping rate tables where I specify the flat shipping based upon the USPS zone or states. For me, I have seen a boost in sales within USPS zone 1 through 4 to me since doing so. I think any shipping method is appropriate if the seller understands how it relates to your making sales consistently and how your items fall into a search. I know most large clothing resellers are flat rate shippers. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean you're probably not wrong there, sir. So I would say I am niched into video games, but I mean, for me, it's you search any video game stuff, it's always, and again, you're right, it's probably based on, I don't do a ton of clothes. I mean, I have a good amount of clothes, but I usually look to see if they've got shipping or not. So I don't know. I mean, if you're staying, I would say either way you go, if you're staying competitive, either with calculated or without, like, because you can still, if an item is, like I just said before, $9.99, you can do flat rate $5, or you can do calculated and put it at $4 calculated. Calculated might put you a couple bucks over. So I understand where you're coming from. You could certainly lose some sales because of that, or not get as many sales because of that. So yeah, I mean, you're good points. Good point, LZ. This is too much paper. So I appreciate that. That's a good some good insight there. I like that. Little shake test. All right, so that's that one. That was the one with the red controller. All right. 8 pounds. I'll leave that there for now. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. First one up is 8 pounds. I had it for 6, so they paid for 6. It's actually 8. So there's my strategy is I usually undercut, because I'm not giving the discount. I undercut my shipping a bit to help the customer a little bit, so they're not paying as much. So in that case, I charged them for 6 pounds. It was actually going to be 8 pounds. Now I still am. They paid $13.65. It's going to West Virginia from here, which that's not terrible for something for even for 6 pounds. It's not terrible shipping for a game system. $14 is what $13.65. It's charging me $9.53. So even though I brought it down 2 pounds to kind of help give the customer a little bit of a break off of the retail shipping, I'm still getting a $4 difference. So I'll take it. So there's that. So anyway, but I do calculated on almost everything except for like loose games. Loose, like regular video games. I pretty much, a lot of them, it's like 50-50 whether I charge shipping or not. But I always, in the competitive, if I do the flat rate, I always make sure that it's within that range of, again, the example I gave. If it's $10, most of the things are selling for $10 free shipping, then, I'll put it at $4.99, $5 shipping. It still makes it $9.99. But again, even then, I don't really do it that way. But that's just an example of how I would do it. If it's like, like this, I could have put for $21 plus shipping. It would have still sold for $26. Maybe it set longer, maybe it didn't. Low battery. Okay. So anyway, next one up. LZ, thank you once again for commenting and your insight on that. Jesus says, I had my average Joe moment. I was going to drive to the post office and drop off my packages. Then I see my mailman and it was like, hey, you able to take them and take them to him? Or I was like, hey, man, I was able to take them to him. Thanks for the advice, Joe. Well, dude, I'm telling you, I mean, look, pickups and using your mail folks works wonders, man. It's good stuff. All right, let me start packing the next one here. Let's see, what's the next one here? These games. Okay, so these games, and then we'll get to our next comment. So I think the best way to pack these, they're not really loose in there. They're not really loose inside of these. So I think the best way to do this is just put them in a padded. Let's start there. Let's maybe just do 2 in a padded. So let's start there, give them a little cushion, and then put them in a box. I don't know if I got a box that'll fit these, but I'm sure I can figure it out. My mom just said, I got a bunch of boxes, small box. I have a bunch of big boxes. I need small boxes. She just told me she got a bunch of small boxes for me. I was like, thank goodness, I need small boxes. So give me a second to find a smaller box. I think that will work. That should work. This should work. Maybe will work. Right on the money. I don't know if that's. I don't know. Is this all the way down? I think we're good, man. I think that's pretty solid. I think that's pretty solid. I think that's the way. I think that's a winner. So that's what we're going with. That is 2 pounds, 1.6 actually. So let's go over here, and 2 pounds already had it in there. Perfect. So they paid $10.80. I'm paying $6.26. So there's that. Made a few bucks there. The next one is another system. So we'll go ahead and get into the next comment. So Tahoe Realm says, great stuff. By the way, Tahoe, thank you for commenting. Where am I at on time? 23 minutes? Not too bad. So Tahoe says, great stuff, Joe. How many different game systems do you have to test? I'm under the impression that I'm under the impression that there are games that run only on certain platforms, and there are older and newer systems as well. So let me start there. Maybe I'm overthinking it, he says. Games you sell. So I sell every system you can think of, I sell. So PS4, I don't sell the new stuff like Xbox, the new Xbox and the new PS5. I don't mess with either one of those. But yes, everything is console platform specific. So PS4 games, PS4, Super Nintendo games, Super Nintendo, your Game Boy games, Game Boy. So it does have to be system specific for, like if I'm bundling games with the systems, it has to be for that system. How many different game systems do you have to test? I mean, everything. I mean, I do PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, Vita. I mean, any system, Wii U, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64, Sega, Sega CD. You don't come across them often. Sega Saturn. I mean, every console that's out there that's been sold in the last. I don't usually go back to Atari. I have sold a couple of Ataris in my time, but I don't normally go back to Atari. But again, if the juice is worth the squeeze, I'll do Atari as well. But typically, it's everything Nintendo and above is usually what I mess with, up to PS4 and Xbox One. I don't mess with a ton of Xbox Ones either. Let me wipe this off. I don't, but I test them all up. Normally, what I do when I get my systems is I test them first because I'm not trying to clean a system that doesn't work. So normally, what I do is I test my systems first, make sure they work. If it works, then I go to the cleaning phase. So typically, the first step of the cleaning phase is, are the fans nasty and dirty? If they are, and they have a ton of buildup on the fans or the ports, the vent ports, then I've got an air compressor right here, and I will blow out the system and get all the dust bunnies out from the ports. You can use an aerosol spray can, but you'll go through a lot of those if you do game systems. But I've got an air compressor, so I use it for automotive, for my tires and things, and so I use it for this too, and multi-purpose it and use it. So anyway, I spray it out, and then I take it upstairs and I start wiping it down. Last night I did a Nintendo. It had a bunch of black scuffs all over it, and the controllers were grimy. So I just take disinfectant wipes and I just start cleaning the mess out of it, making it really clean, making it look really nice, really, presentable, and that's basically it. Then, because I already know the system works, right? I've already tested the system, so then it's worth it for me to clean it for resell. Obviously, part of testing is also testing the controllers, because a lot of controllers, not a lot, mainly the newer controllers, a lot of times they have phantom pressing or stick drift. So a good rule of thumb is obviously I'll check your controllers too, make sure it's working, because that's the last thing you want is to sell a system that has a controller that doesn't work, and your customer's like, hey, appreciate it, but the controller don't work. What's up? So, obviously part of testing is making sure that works, making sure that it loads up a disk. Turning a system on is not meaning it's going to work. A lot of your CD discs, you got to test a game in it. Make sure it loads a game. Well, that goes for a Nintendo all the way up to a PS4. You got to make sure it's going to load the game. It kills me when people on Marketplace try to sell you, a working system, and then you message them and say, have you tested a game in it? And oh no, I didn't test a game in it. I just turned it on, made sure it turned on. Well, that doesn't mean it's going to actually work, boss. So there's that. So, and then, like I said, from there, I clean it really nice, make sure the controller's working, make sure it works, clean it out if it needs it. I don't always clean them out because they're not always all caked with dust and nasty. A lot of times they're in good shape and they're not really dusty, because some people don't use the heck out of their systems. They just sit and they get used minimally. So their fan ports aren't all clogged up with dust and shit. So a lot of times you don't have to worry about doing that step. But if I need to, I do that step. And then I go to the cleaning phase with disinfectant wipes and clean them up really good. And yeah. And then from there, I list it. And then it goes in one of these white boxes and it sits until somebody buys it. So, and like I said, they're all platform specific. So yes, every game type is going to take its own game. So PS4 to PS4 and all that good stuff. So, hopefully that helps. All right, so there's that. Packed up and ready to roll. So there's that. I assume this is going to be 8 pounds as well. 7.4. Yes, it is. We're always rounded up. 7.4 is 8 pounds. So that's that one. I had it for $6 for the buyer. I'm paying for $8. They paid $12.40. I'm paying $9.97. So what I make? $2.40 there. So not a bunch, but helps cover a little bit in fees. So next one up, and then I'll get to the next comment. is the game, Mortal Kombat. Oh man, I thought that was my mail lady coming through. I was like, no, I'm not ready. I reuse bubble mailers. Try to keep stuff out the landfill and save myself a couple bucks. So I definitely reuse bubble mailers as well, boxes as well. In fact, my mom just said, I got a bunch of boxes for you to pick up tomorrow. I was like, okay. I don't need big boxes. I can use small boxes. That's going to be 4 ounces. I already know. Let's see. 4. Let me, these are labeled, right? Yeah, what controller. So technically it goes like this. Let me go ahead and start my the way it's in order. PS4. Actually, this goes first. PS4 and then the games. Then the other PS4. Then this. This technically needs the label from yesterday. So I got to reprint that label from yesterday. So that goes ahead of all of them. It's going to be 4 ounces too. Try to keep everything in order when I'm shipping so I don't put the wrong label on the wrong item. I know War Pig's like, that's why I do it my way, Joe. I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you in the background. I hear you. That goes there. All right, next one up is that. All right, so let's go to the last comment. I think we have one more comment. Last comment is the Dark 25 Twitch. The Dark 25 Twitch. Again, thank you for commenting. Let me go grab a box for this real quick, and then we'll tackle your comment. I believe this will work. Beautiful, beautiful. I do think that will work. It's nice to have when you got the right size boxes for everything. It works out perfect. Pretty sure this is gonna work. Oh yeah, beautiful. All right. That didn't work out the way I planned on it, so it's okay. Use a couple of these. Say that needs to be a little wider. Okay. You know what? I'm just going to use some of this. I haven't used some of this in a while, so that'll work out perfect. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So the next comment comes from the Dark 25. Sorry. The Dark 25 says, hey, Joe, this is my other YouTube account I followed you from. Thanks for taking the time to read and respond to my comment. You're so right about the DVDs and Blu-rays. I only pick them up new. I get them for dirt cheap. Yeah, usually like 50 cents. But I don't really like messing with them. They don't sell. But I get them for dirt cheap. But, man, they take forever to sell. Absolutely. I don't know how DVD, Blu-ray, music, CD people do it. It's got to be a volume play because, I mean, you got to have so many of those things to make it worth it. It's wild. Because, I mean, not to say you don't come across some that are good. I mean, I came across the Goonies on VHS that was the original cover, and it sold for like $80. This was a few years back. And that was then. I don't know what it sells for now, but that was at that time. It had to be the original cover from when it originally released. Um, so I mean, there's gems and there's pops even in that niche in that category, but I can't imagine there's a ton. I mean, and they're hard to find because I mean, you got to find the original cover, the original one, So anyway, or sealed, and that's rough too. I probably tried doing bundle sales. I do. You're right. I do have my Blu-rays. I have bundled the ones I have picked up for like 50 cents a piece. I've got bundled like horror and like action hero because I got them all right here. I mean, there's not a lot. I only have like two little stacks here, and there's maybe one other stack on the other side. But it's all like it's predominantly not onesie twosie. It's stack of superhero. The only reason I had Batman by itself was because it was sealed. I figured I was at a yard sale, it was like 50 cents or $1. I was like, well, this should go for 10, 15 bucks. Sealed. It's got the slip cover on it. I come home, look it up, and it was $9. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious? So anyway, it is what it is. But yeah, I don't mess with them too much. How's hold on, he says, I'm finally getting around to attacking my death pile for the holiday season approaching. How's attacking your death pile going? More importantly, how's your leg healing up? So I'm right there with you with my death pile. I literally yesterday just took 2 systems upstairs, cleaned them up, got them going, got them tested, got them cleaned, and put them on eBay. My goal now, because I've been slacking, and my system's just been sitting piling up over there. So my goal is every night is to take 2 systems upstairs with me when I'm done doing my football helmet business on Facebook Live. For folks that don't know, you can look me up on BTG East Coast on Facebook Live. I do autographed football helmets on Facebook Live pretty much every night. So now, starting last night, and I'm going to do it tonight until I'm through those systems, is every night I'm taking 2 systems with all their cords and cables. I'm taking them upstairs and going to test them, make sure they work, and then do my thing with them and get 2 up a night, 2 up a night, 2 up a night. I figured over a course of a week and a half, I should be able to have all of them up by like mid 20th or so of October. If I'm consistent, I should be able to have all of them up by the end of October. The part that's tedious is the cleaning part, especially if they're really janky and yuck. So, so there's that. So yeah, just like you, I'm in the process of tackling now. My video game death piles, I'm not really concerned about those. I'm more concerned about all my video game systems taking up all the space. All the clothes are right after that. So the next thing right after the video game systems is like I'm going to tackle all my clothes. I got 3 bins of clothes and a bunch of Army stuff I just picked up. So really like 4 bins full of clothes, probably 20 items, 15 to 20 items per bin. So there's like 60 to 80 pieces of clothing that I need to get up. And some of them are good. $30 pops, $50 pops. Especially with the military clothing. So yes, my goal is to systems, and then right after that, clothes. Knock out the clothes, and then after that, the only thing that I technically have in my death pile is going to be cartridge video games, which I've been holding on to, and some older like PS2 and GameCube games. Those are kind of like my money in the bank. Rainy day sales are terrible for a week or two, then maybe start throwing those things up there. But I haven't really had that happen yet, so a lot of those just sit in my, I'm not going to call it a death pile. I'm calling it an investment pile, a rainy day pile. So those are not really death pile items. Those are, I know they're quick sales because I've already got all the filler games taken out. So none of those $8, $9 games are in those piles. It's all your Pokemons, your Zeldas, your Marios, your Mario Soccer, your, I don't know what other game, Chrono Triggers, and your, all those titles that are like 20 Mega Mans and blah blah blah. It's all the good stuff. Donkey Kongs, and so it's all the good stuff. It's all stuff that's around $15 and up is mainly what's in in that pile. All the GBA, Emerald, and Fire, and Pokemon for Game Boy, Yellow, Blue. I mean Red. I got like, yeah. So all that stuff to me is like money in the bank. That stuff is not gonna become unpopular. It's not going to go down crazy in value. So it just kind of sits in the event I really need boost in sales, really am struggling, really don't have anything to find. I just really been accumulating them over the past year and a half now. Kurt Basin will let you know if he watches this one this long. He's giving me a hard time about all those games just sitting there since he's been watching back in like February, March. They've been sitting there. So, and they've been sitting there for months before that. But anyway, outside of those piles of those games and some good PS2 and GameCube games, everything else is getting up out of here in the next 2 weeks. So I may not source this weekend coming up. In fact, I take that back. There's a community yard sale 3 miles away from me that's got 40 houses. I am going to take $200 out and I'm going to go spend $200. Once that's spent, I'm done. I'm just going to come home. I'm not going to pull more money out and keep going unless there's a crazy deal or something crazy that I find. But normally that sale, I go to it every year. Normally there's not a ton of good stuff. It's all a lot of military folks, so I'll find some military stuff. I may find some video game stuff, but not much usually. So I'll find some stuff. I'll have to be able to flip my 200 into like 6, maybe 8. But outside of that, I'm not really sourcing much here for probably the next couple weeks. I know I mentioned I was going to do some sourcing, but outside of that sale, I think I'm going to just kind of, hold off on sourcing, save my money. I haven't spent much in sourcing, let the money flow in. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. But hopefully you can get through your death pile, because I totally understand the death pile. I don't like having a death pile, and I try not to get a death pile. But it seems to happen, especially if you like to go out and hunt more, and you start slacking on posting. The death pile can creep up pretty quickly. Alrighty, so we got 2 more things to pack. I don't think I'm going to stay 41 minutes. I don't know. I guess I can stay with you guys. That is 4 pounds on that one. That's the last thing there. 4 pounds on that one. Let's see. 4 pounds. All right, that's the last comment as far as YouTube goes. So that is it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. It got some nuggets along the way, help you guys out from other people's questions. That's what I kind of like to do, is answer stuff off other people's questions. All right, so we got an old PS1. By the way, if you're a video game reseller, I haven't mentioned this in a while. 2 things. I don't have it here, do I? My daughter took it from me. I was going to promote my Goo Gone adhesive remover, because it is magical. It takes all the gunky stuff off of all the video games, the stickers off of stuff, all the residue, the sticky residue. It's amazing. So next time I'll have that on. Oh, actually, it's right here. I do have it here. This stuff right here, Goo Gone Pro Power Goo Adhesive Remover. This stuff is freaking magic, guys. I don't promote a lot of items. If you watch, I don't really promote anything, but that stuff is magical. Even if you, whatever your category is, you got to get sticky stuff or stickers off of anything, man, that stuff is ridiculously the shit. So anyway, so there's that. Yeah, definitely some good stuff. The second thing I want to throw out there, I haven't mentioned this in a while, so I'll go ahead and throw it out there again, since maybe I got some video game resellers around watching. If you ever have a system, and I'm not going to say this is 100%, but it's certainly, for me, I'm batting 100 on it. If you have a system that like for example, this PS1, that it's not reading discs. Hold on a second. So if you've got any lens-based system that reads discs, if it is not reading, I would highly, highly, highly recommend buying isopropyl alcohol, the 97% or 99% isopropyl alcohol. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend to clean the lens with the alcohol with a Q-tip. So far, I've done it probably 6 times now on systems that are not reading discs, and I'm batting 1,000 right now. I'm not going to say it's going to work every single time, because I'm sure there's going to be occasions where it's not going to work. So, I'm just going to say, for me, I'm batting 1,000 out of 6 attempts. It works. So you just put a little bit on your Q-tip, you rub the lens, and then you use the other side of the Q-tip and dry it off and buff it. Fire that thing up. Telling you, man. Telling you right now, I'm confident it'll work. At least it'll be a high percentage of those systems will start working for you. Because if it's I'm 6 for 6, it's gotta, and you know that's something nobody ever talks about. Like nobody gives that tip because I don't think many people have ever thought about that. I just one day was like, you know what? Let me try it. I've already got a replacement lens. Let me just try to clean this thing with isopropyl alcohol. Boop, 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 fired it up, started reading. I was like, get out of town. Are you kidding? So, yeah, I might have to get more paper already. So there's your tip for the day. 2 tips for the day. That Goo Gone stuff is amazing. All right, so there's that PS1. Excuse me, we're at 6.2 ounces, so that's going to put us at 7 pounds. They paid $13.55. I'm paying $9.85. So what? $3.50. I'll take it. And the last item is the Super Nintendo box. Now this, I probably will give it a little bit of structure with paper. Yeah, I might have to get more paper already. I've been going through paper lately. I'm going to give it a little bit of structure, a little bit of help it out a bit. Maybe give it one more. Okay. Give it a little structure there. All right, and then I got to find a box big enough for it. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, low battery, 10. All right, got to shave too, huh? All right, let's see if we can find a box that's big enough is the question. This one might work. This one might work. It might be a little big, but I think this one might work. It's a little big, but you know what? We're going to roll with it, I think. Oh, no, I think we're too... Oh, man. Oh, man. That's terrible. It's like right up, bumped up right against it. So that's not quite where we need to be. We need to be just a smidge longer. All right. Let's see. I might have to build a box. I don't know. Let's see. Same issue. Is that longer? This one might work, but it's a little deep. But this one might work. I got so many boxes over here, guys. It's redonkulous. Redonkulous. Yeah, this is gonna work. It's just gonna be a little too deep. What is this for? No idea. All right, so it does. It bumps right up against it. I might be able to get some bubble in there, but it is a little deeper than it needs to be. So, I can do 1 of 2 things. I can readjust the box, or I can just go with it. Let me see what they paid. They paid $10.80. They're in Tennessee. Let me just play with this and see what the price will be if I leave it as is. This is 19 by 9 by 13. 19, 9, 13. 19, 9, 13. Let's see. 19, 9. Sometimes you got to play with stuff. 13. Is it worth it for me to break the box down or just pack it the way it is? 19, 9, 13. They pay $10.80. It goes up to $13.36. Now if I go Yeah, it goes up there pretty high. So, I mean, what if I took, what is it? It'd be this way, not so much long ways, but height. I don't think it's gonna make a difference. 9. I think I just undercut myself on it. 9 goes to like 6. What happens there? It goes to 633. So yeah, I think 1, 2, 3. I just gotta shave off 3 inches. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it. So I gotta do some scoring and things like that to get this down because it's almost half the amount. So, unless I got another box. Hold on. Hang tight. I might have another box. Well, I'm not going to keep you guys with me while I build this box. You see what's happening here with my conundrum is it's 50 minutes in. I don't know. Should I just stay with you guys and just do it? Man, I wish that box worked. Most of those are squares. So I don't have a ton of time because my mail lady's going to have coming back to. I think that's my next thing is I'm kind of on a time crunch. I think I'm just going to adjust the box. Score it and do it and get her done. Hopefully she doesn't get over here. All right, so first thing, start by scoring or cutting each end like that, and then basically I'm going to score just above the line. Okay. All right, so now because the dimension, it's not the weight, it's the dimensions that's getting me. So now that's about a good 3 inches that I'm eliminating. So now what I'm going to do is just give it a little cushion on each end. 2, 3, 4. Nothing crazy. It should be good. It was only $23, so I'm not going to stress about it. And then a little bit of paper on each end here. A little bit of paper on this end. Yep, we don't need that much. All right. This is going to fold over. We're going to do one more there. Bada bing, bada boom. Now we should be in business. should be in business now. Always make sure you cover up your labels because it will go to wherever that label says. I've done that before. All right, so this weighs 3 pounds, and it is 19 by 5 by 13, 19, 5, 13. 19.6, we'll go 19.5. It's gonna be the same price. $6.94. I went up a pound, so I went up a little bit. So $6.94, good to go. So that's it. $55.94 for everything for shipping. That's everything, guys. I'm gonna print these out, stick them on, and I think we're done. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments. Questions, comments, concerns, rebuttals, whatever you got for me, throw it at me in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you liked anything through the packing phase, the question phase, the show off shipping phase, anything that you dropped a nugget along the way that you were like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. That would definitely help. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some comments. That's always helpful to support the page or to support the group or support the channel rather. Herbert. So there's Herbert. Let me go ahead and get these on here. Let's see. That was old Herbert. Next one up is Nick. Nick got the PS1. All right. See, we got a label on there, so got to make sure we cover that. Don't forget about them labels on there, man. That was Joseph. All right. Next one up is the game that goes to Dataron. All right. Next one, PS4 with a white controller, goes to Donnie. The games for Atari go to Sergio. Here we go. Sounds Italian or possibly Mexican. And Bill, the other, play PS4. So there's that, Mr. Bill. All right, so that's that. I do have to print out the label for the game from yesterday that I didn't get out. Let me do that real quick. And then I'm off of here, guys. Let's see. Oh, I got an offer message. What did I get? I got a message. No, I didn't. People are anyway. All right, so let's go to orders. So if you got to reprint your labels, if you go to orders and then you go to shipping labels, and then you can reprint your label. So I did it from my phone last night. I didn't actually come down and pack it, but I just did the label for my phone. So then today, oh, it was the 3DS. Oh, I'm glad I looked at that. I'm glad I looked at that. I thought it was the DS. So it is 3DS. I'm glad I double checked that. I'm about to send this dude the wrong thing. What? I'm about to send this dude the wrong thing. Come on, man. That's not the right one. It's that one. Ah! All right, that is good. It's not that one. It's this one. So that was 3DS Mario Kart, not DS. So that is this one. Yes. Okay. Okay. Mario Kart. Why is it in the red? Is that the old one that was sitting up here forever? Ha! That was the old one that's been sitting up here forever. I've had this one up here forever. Well, there's that. I'm gonna have to check that other one out. I didn't realize I had two of them. All right, maybe I got the other one overpriced because this one sold quick. Actually, this is the new one. Anyway, I'm talking to myself. I'm rambling. I had a 3DS Mario Kart 7 already. I'm gonna have to check and see what price I got on it. It might be overpriced because there's one already up there. This white box. So let's do reprint label and print this bad boy, and we are donezo. All right, so that's it for me, guys. I had a marketplace deal. I'm going to leave the guy negative feedback because he apparently sold out from under me a deal me and him were going to do, and he sold it out from under me. So fucking, sometimes I hate Facebook, man. Marketplace, it's good and it's bad. There's no accountability. People are don't give you any decency. Like, hey, I'm gonna sell it to someone else. Like, not like, at least tell me what you're doing instead of making me think that we're still going to be meeting today. Like, it's just, I don't know. I hate it. Sometimes it's dumb. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to get these out for my mail lady. And again, anything you picked up from this, I'd appreciate a subscribe if you haven't done so already. And that's it for me today, guys. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully we get good $200 in sales between today and tomorrow. That'd be great. Again, my plan is to get stuff up, get through the death pile like some of you guys as well. And that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one.